Are we?
Yes.
Where are we?
Here.
Why are we here? Not entirely clear. We are misfits thrust into existence by random chance, with no hints at all as to how we're supposed to make sense of it all. It's immensely bizarre. Here we are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Here We Are podcast. This is a solo. This is just about pure information, and also why we missed last week and there's not a regular episode this week. So lots of exciting news, and then all of it just taking a little more time than I thought, and more stuff on the plate than you realize, that sort of thing. But number one, what we're very excited about is that we have a Mind Under Matter Campout. You can go to mindunderpod.com to get tickets, learn more about that. I'll expand, but this is just the basics. Is it's outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. It's at a place called Lakeside Retreats. If you want to take a look at all of the some of the property and everything, it's a beautiful, beautiful space that I'm actually just about to travel to check out in person, as we are sorting out what we want to do with the space. Most importantly, how many people that we are interested in having attend. Right now, we are capping tickets at 222 in case we have a look at things and decide that we want to keep it more intimate. And also, the price will go up as the thing becomes larger, because we'll add a lot more activities and things like that. But for the first 222 people, tickets will be 222. Not because we're numerologists on the show, but because we have a fun running joke about how Australians say no worries and too easy, and we've made a too easy lifestyle a part of our life in the Mind Under Matter world that we're building, and we're gonna make tickets in that range anyway, so it was just kind of meant to be. But after that first 222, they will increase. So that is for September 9th through the 12th. The 9th is a Friday. The 12th is the Monday morning that you would have to leave. But there's also a Patreon day if you've been supporting me here on Patreon at Patreon/Shane Mauss, or if you have, which, by the way, this show needs all the support it can get. I know some of you Here We Are listeners. I've been putting so much of my effort into building Mind Under Matter because it's the first year of the show and everything. But this show still has expenses and is expanding in fun and interesting ways that I'm going to talk about shortly. And could use support there. But also, if you've been a Patreon member since year one on the Mind Under Matter Patreon, you'll have access to a Patreon only day on that Thursday before. Some of you might just be coming in for a weekend and everything, and we've kind of planned things according to like what most people's usual schedules are, what most people do for these types of events, and then left a little extra time on either side for people that have more time. So, first and foremost, my goodness, if you've never listened to Here We Are before, this is not what the show is like. Normally, I'm interviewing a scientist, and it's not a solo show. I don't like doing these solo things. I don't like talking to a camera by myself, and I just am in my head about everything right now. It just kills me to do a bunch of announcements, and as excited as I am, I still, when I just hear my own voice and I can't watch myself being recorded, whatever, those are my issues that I have to work on. But all of that is to say that this is not representative of what a normal Here We Are show is, so check out a different one. This is simply information about the Campout and then some of the future projects with the Here We Are show. And there will be timestamps included as well, so you can skip ahead to hear about the future of Here We Are if you'd like as well. So the Campout, Raleigh, North Carolina. Lakeside Retreats is just over 20 minutes from downtown Raleigh. So this isn't like a Burning Man situation where you have to like prepare to survive and everything else. Sounds like a fun thing to do to me. Sounds like a wonderful adventure, but this isn't that kind of adventure. This is the sort of adventure that there's convenience stores and such like very close by. There's hotels you can stay at within 15 minutes if you don't feel like sleeping in a tent and that sort of thing. If you do like camping, which I do, I'm going to be camping there. It's very spacious. It's not like if you've ever been to a festival like Fish or something like that, where they pack people in and you have like a little lot and it's picked for you and it's small. It's going to be, you'll be able to collect with friends around an area. There's a vast amount of space for camping. And then there's an area around the lake where the kind of gathering is going to be, where the shows and everything are going to be. So some of the main shows, for those of you that have been wondering when I'm going to be doing stand-up again, you'll get to see a bit of that. Also be doing the first live Mind Under Matter podcasts at this event. And then we're doing, and in terms of planning things, so those are kind of the big things because it's built around our show. So we're doing that as opening and closing ceremony. So the first one will start at, our tentative plan is 7 p.m. To start with that way on that Friday. So people can arrive through the day. We'll have stuff, there'll be food carts around. There'll be people live painting. There'll be like plenty of stuff to do and just an awesome lake to enjoy and hiking trails around and a million awesome things like that just to relax on a beautiful property. If you want as well, mostly encourage people to meet we have a bunch of bright, awesome listeners. And I always loved meeting people after shows when I was touring, which I haven't done since COVID. So this is about the first time that you'd have a chance to see me do stand up since then. And so that's at 7:00 is like the official opening ceremony where we'll actually kind of gather everyone around and make a big fun fuss about it. Right. And we've got a bunch of silly stuff planned for that. And then music afterwards. Just to give you an idea of the music, I think right now that spot has a bluegrass band that we've booked that would be taking over. Basically, I booked them because their name is perfect for our campout, and they're damn good. Worked out so great. Can't wait to announce more. It's going to be fun. People are going to get a kick out of it, I hope. But either way, you're going to enjoy the music. But it's not a rave. We'll probably have DJ stuff, and there's like other areas. There's a second stage and stuff where we can I want to have a variety of stuff, but it's also my thing, and I don't get into like loud electronic music as much. Certainly not stuff like blaring at 4 a.m. In a tent, like some music festivals and things that I've been to. So I don't want that. I want to have a space for people that want that, for sure. But I don't want that personally. I want a chill vibe and meeting a bunch of people. And so the bluegrass band will also they like jamming and stuff with people all night. That's one of the main reasons why we got them. So there's a second stage, and then just in the camp out area, we're going to have some areas like away from people, away from other tents and stuff. So basically, it's 6 members that all play in different bands and play like any style of music. So anyone that's a musician that wants to get up and jam and we're going to be doing a lot of that sort of stuff, casual jamming stuff. And we've already kind of booked people to make sure that we do that. Ramin, my co-host of Mind Under Matter, plays like every instrument that there is. He's doing his first solo music set ever at the Campout. He's only ever done live shows with other people, live music shows with other people. And so, yeah, that's kind of, that opening night will be that. And then I'll skip ahead to the closing ceremony will be Sunday at, we're planning on 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. so that people that need to leave on Sunday and catch a flight back west, like you can get back to, say, Denver. We have someone coming from Denver that needs to get back on Monday that we already know, but we have a lot of people coming from the West Coast as well. So they'll be able to still catch a flight that afternoon. There's even 5:00 flights or whatever that are able to get people back in time so they get in that night and are able to work on Monday. If you can, boy, I recommend taking Monday off and chilling and maybe saving time to check out Raleigh, which is a cool city. And again, we're going to be there Thursday too. There's going to be so much stuff to do at this thing that, not everyone has infinite vacation time and resources and everything else. But if you can manage it, I'd recommend coming for Patreon Day and stuff too, and spreading it out a little bit, just because then you'll get to have more time for relaxing, hiking, that sort of thing as well. Because Saturday, so Sunday after the closing ceremony, there's still a whole bunch of stuff going on, but that's when Ramin and I will kind of be done doing shows and get to relax and hang out with people more. We'll be hanging out all weekend, but that's when we won't have like things to organize and thoughts running through our head about upcoming shows and things like that. And we can just chill a bit more and, still have music and stuff all that day. Saturday is kind of the main, lots of activities planned. So there's going to be a live Here We Are podcast on Saturday. The plan is for 11 a.m. Basically, I don't have the full plan yet, but I know a few of the bigger pieces, and I want to avoid the real heat of the day. By the way, this time I did so much research into weather and even checked out chances of hurricanes, how much rainfall there is. And there's 6 days of rainfall in September and stuff like that. And it's really, really hot there in July. August, it would have been too warm. And the weekend that I picked, it's 81 high average, and then dropping, if I remember right, just below 70 at night or something like that. So I picked the most optimal weather. That's the whole reason why and we wanted to give people as much time as possible. But I thought that week is temperature wise the best chance that we have of being warm enough to be able to still swim without it getting too cool, and then cool enough so you can still sleep comfortably at night. And so because of that, in the heat of the day, we may not want to gather a whole bunch of people around the main stage. I'll know more after I go and check out things in the coming weeks and get a sense of things. But live Here We Are podcast, my friend Herman Ponser, who's been on the show a couple times, wrote a book about the evolution of metabolism, but kind of more importantly for our purposes here, he's a evolutionary anthropologist who spends time with hunter-gatherers every year, and we're working on booking some other guests as well to do live Here We Are about the evolution of festivals and kind of what current what kind of festivities and events hunter-gatherers do today, and rituals and that sort of thing. Kind of a science-y meta event for us. And then there is going to be the final Head Talks show. That's the tour that I was on that got interrupted by COVID, and it was, boy, it makes me a little sad to even talk about, because that show was so much fun and showing a lot of promise, and we are very excited about it. But we're doing the final one, and it's going to be great. Me and Sophia Rockland are going to be there. Sophia is the author of One Plant Stream and anthropologist who an anthropologist who spent a lot of time in Peru working with ayahuasca and helping facilitate retreats there, working with indigenous people there. And so it's like the stand-up science show that I was talking that I used to do, that was before COVID, that was half scientists on stage and then half me doing comedy. It's a psychedelic version of that. So that will be our final show there. And then there will be the first ever live Rainbow Brain Skull, which is Ramin's podcast, on Saturday as well. And then music and stuff that night. Now, all of these things, we're having a ton of floating things around, so that no one's, we're not gathering everyone together, like pressuring people. You have to listen to this 11 a.m. Here We Are or whatever, and making sure that you attend or whatever. We'll have other stuff happening even during that. At least that's the plan. Well, if it ends up being toward the smaller side, because that's the vibe that everyone kind of votes for, or that's just the interest that there is, or whatever else, we'll take it from there. But the plan is, right now, I'm also working. So Duke is part of what's called the Research Triangle, which is Chapel Hill and North Carolina State and a whole bunch of other universities there, well known for incredible research. I'm reaching out to seeing how much interest there is, but the plan is to reach out to a bunch of people to have kind of like an adulty, sciencey book fair section going on, where a scientist who has a pop science book will give a little spiel about their book in a fun, accessible way, and then give you guys a chance to ask questions and chat about it. So just like if 10, 20 people want to go over and hear about a book, that they can, and it's just like a fun little, might just be like scientists hanging out at a picnic table at a certain time on a schedule that will chat with you about whales or whatever they study, right? So working on just seeing what the interest is for others, because we might do like some small like bird watching tours and some things like that. And so those are kind of like the main shows that are built for our listeners. And then, music and small stage stuff. There's going to be stand-up comedy, not just us, but other people there as well. There's going to be there's going to be lots of, so because Ramin is a really popular Instagram artist, he has a bunch of Instagram followers. He has a bunch of artist followers who we have a ton of incredible artists in our community and people with awesome, weird skills and people that forge swords and do all sorts of other weird stuff that is awesome. And so we're hoping to attract as many people like that from within the community to kind of show off the various things that they do. So we're not just like, getting vendors locally to like come in to peddle stuff or whatever. We're having and then that's a normal place would be then charging a vendor fee and everything. We're trying to build it all artists and entertainers from specifically from our community. So there's going to be a whole bunch of science-minded people around, a bunch of people that are into philosophy and having bigger conversations. And it'll be a great place to meet like-minded people. We have a lot of stuff planned so that people that are coming solo, at the time that I'm recording this, we just released tickets, and it's a lot of single tickets. I've already been talking with people on Discord, and a lot of people are coming in solo. So that's all that I have the bandwidth to go over right now. This is kind of impromptu, and I've had a really super busy week, but you could go to the newest Mind Under Matter episode to hear us talk more about that if you want, and then let me know if you need a Discord link or anything like that. You can go and check out the conversations people that are having there, and make sure and get tickets as soon as you can. Not just because there's only 222 at that price. There might be only 222 total. We don't know, but insurance rates go up. Everything else, the amount of stuff like security, things like that. We go into that in the episode. So, I wanted to tell you about, and the sooner that you get tickets, the sooner I know, like, there'll be this amount of people. I'll reach out to more scientists then. So the sooner you get things, the more events will actually happen, because I don't want to reach out to science guests to be like, hey, there's going to be a bunch of people there, and I'm sure they would love to hear about your book. And then they come and no one's, it's a small crowd and whatever. It's awkward for them because I booked too many scientists or whatever. And then just in terms of figuring out our budgeting and everything else, that helps us out tremendously. So, one of the things that you can do if you're interested to be supporting our efforts is just to get tickets as soon as possible, just because that helps us plan better. And all right, so, I'm tired. I'm packing. I'm trying to get ready to go. And been working very hard on all of this. Very excited. So the other thing that I'm excited about is, here we are. I've been trying to figure out ways to increase the audio and video quality, make that more consistent, and just come up with ideas to improve the show generally. And because we've figured a few things out with some of the One Health guests to start with that. It's all of it's taking like just a little longer than I than I realized it would. And one of the new things that I'm really excited about is we're going to do some sort of like, here we are course kind of situation. I don't have a full sense of what it is yet. We were supposed to record a couple of the first ones already, but that's another thing that just got put off. It's the end of the school year, and professors are crazy busy right now and everything too. But the plan is basically, I got the idea because I was chatting with my good friend Marty Hazelton, who was the first ever guest on this show, who wrote a book called Hormonal, the evolution of how hormones shaped our lives, or something like that. I forget but she's an evolutionary psychologist who studies hormones specifically. And she was putting together a class and trying to figure out some of the finalizing details, and stuck with figuring out what she wanted to include and everything. And I'd been trying to get her back on the show at some point anyway. And so we came up with the idea of her coming on to basically hash out the class on Here We Are. So we're going to do that and release like one a month. And then at the end, there'll be a playlist with all of them. So you can, like someone just finding it can watch them all in a row and binge them. And then you guys in real time can also ask questions and put them in the comments on social media or YouTube or wherever. And that will help add to the conversation. And then I also reached out and had a conversation with Barrett Klein, one of my favorite guests on the show, entomologist. He's working on a book about how insects have impacted human culture through history. And if you haven't seen Barrett on the show and you're like, insects, I don't care about insects, well, then you haven't heard Barrett Klein talk about him. He is, most people that hear him talk are like, boy, I didn't think I would care about cicadas at all. And then I heard Barrett Klein, and that guy's fun to listen to. So he was one of the first people that I reached out to. He's actually the second person that I reached out to after I came up with the idea, and begged him to see if he would give this a shot as an experiment with me. So going to do kind of a like casual type of course with him as well. Super excited about that. I thought this week was going to be like the launch of one. With everything, starting a new project, there's like, you think of a few ideas, like, oh, here's how it could be better. Ooh, this is a thing that we could do. And then you change a few things, and trying to coordinate with another person and all of that. Everything always takes a little bit longer than you think that it's going to. And I've spent the last 2 months working very hard just on getting the kind of basic skeleton of the Campout together, and figuring out, legal terms and conditions stuff, what we'll have for security. So much adulting. Oh my gosh. You try to put together the most, this will be like the most fun. I've produced a lot of shows, and hundreds. I've produced hundreds of shows, and this will be the most fun thing that I've ever produced. And but it's coming along with the most adulting stuff, which that is fun in its own way. But so much learning, and not necessarily the fun kind of learning. I miss science, guys. Oh my gosh. Whenever there isn't a Here We Are episode, just know that I must be very, very busy, because I love chatting with scientists. I love thinking about science. I haven't been reading any science books. I haven't been taking any classes. I had a bunch of episodes banked up. I haven't been talking with scientists. I miss it so much. I've just had business brain going for so long. And can't wait to get back into doing more science, new and improved stuff. I'm looking forward to all of the changes that we have coming up, and I'm really looking forward to this campout. Again, if you're like, what the heck is this podcast? It's just a guy doing announcements for over 30 minutes. You picked the wrong first one. That's not what this podcast generally is. And I am exhausted and quick wanted to make something, just to give you guys an update. So plan to be back next week. Trying to look into recording some stuff while I'm traveling and everything else. But that's what's going on. Look forward to seeing you guys in Raleigh in September. It's going to be awesome. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the YouTube comments. Get on Discord. Write mindunderfest@gmail. Go to mindunderpod.com and you won't be able to miss it. There's a whole bunch of information for you there. Thank you. Those of you that listen all the way to the end, oh my gosh, you're my favorites. I hope to see you there.